Good evening. Thank you very much for the people in the room for being here and for those online who are watching the live stream. I'd also like to start out almost first and foremost with a special thanks to the Hedera Hashgraph team for the opportunity to be here this evening and to participate in this very exciting project. So I thought I would talk tonight about our journey, how we ended up here, how a law firm indeed ended up here tonight. Looking at the key issues that we've gone through, and I'm going to use asset tokenization as something of a case study as to why this has happened. So the drivers for change in our business are significant. As a lawyer, I get the privilege of actually working with a lot of clients from different sectors, from different geographies, and what we're seeing across that broad spectrum is a genuine desire to implement blockchain technologies, to the point that we believe within our organisation that it is going to be a game-changer technology, something that we will see more and more adoption of. DLA Piper has a very long history of supporting clients with technology innovation and adoption of technology, so we're well placed to support with this next trend. We're also seeing our clients and market forces driving significant change in the way our business is going to have to operate. We too are going to be impacted by these developments, and we're going to have to evolve. So I want to use this case study, and it comes from our client listening program, unique perhaps for lawyers to listen to clients. But we went out and we asked them, what are the challenges? What are the things that you're finding difficult in your business? And one of the early use cases that we've identified is owners of commercial real estate. So people who might own a large building, let's say a $100 million building. What can they do with it? What would they like to do with it? What are the frustrations with that? And there was a consistent theme when we talked to that sector about a lack of flexibility. I've got a very expensive asset. It's hard to deal with. It costs a lot of taxes to talk to a land registry office to move it around. It takes a long time to do that. There are corporate models that try and deal with these issues by moving the asset into a corporate vehicle, but then corporate registries slow down the process of transferring shares and interests in that entity. Liquidity is a problem as a result of all of that red tape that needs to be gone through. And even if you manage to find somebody with $100 million to buy your asset, as a fund or as an owner, you need to return very quickly to the market with that large amount of cash. And again, that can be difficult to find the next opportunity. Plus, there's a limited investor pool. You're talking about people who have that much cash sitting around to deal with your asset. So that was the problem. DLA Piper has built a trusted, transparent real estate conveyancing platform. It facilitates private transfers of tokens which sit and are issued by an entity that owns the real estate asset. It's secure and transparent. We've actually developed that and now re-platformed it onto the Hedera network, and we're looking forward to the network continuing to develop so we can deploy that solution in a more live environment. And our clients are very interested in talking about that. So that's one example of a use case that we're seeing a lot of interest in. We've also looked at a number of others and are in development around those. So real estate was great. That was an obvious use case. What we're already finding is clients coming to us saying, oh, you could tokenize my real estate asset. What about some other asset? Debt books, for example, or other assets. And so we're seeing a lot of interest around how do we create secondary markets by taking one of our clients' pieces of infrastructure or a book of debt or a loan book and then fractionalizing that into tokens and then trading it off the registers in different ways. We're also a very large law firm in the area of intellectual property. Many of our clients have extensive intellectual property portfolios. They have challenges, as we all know, copyright theft, misappropriation, pirating, lots of issues that people are familiar with in terms of how you commercialize your IP assets. And one of the challenges for that is it's quite clunky. You tend to have to do a large mainstream licensing deal, again with a very large player. But if we can create a micropayments solution which allows users of copyrighted materials to buy on a cost-effective one-off basis, then there's a whole new market for our rights holders to try and commercialize those assets. Law enforcement, evidence management, tracking evidence, making sure it's admissible. That will be hugely supportive of both criminal cases and also civil litigation cases. Healthcare is a fascinating sector, and again, we have lots of clients there. Imagine a real-time insurance solution where you go to your doctor and before you've left the clinic, you've already had your insurance paid. That sounds nice. So portable data is another area. People will have heard of the General Data Protection Regulation, GDPR, in Europe. It creates lots of challenges for organisations, one of which is you have to be able to quickly and readily move customer data away to another service provider if those customers demand it. A blockchain-based solution will be able to do that in a cost-effective way. Lots of applications in government, citizenship validation, expedited entry, customs issues, tracking ownership and eligibility, gun safety as a result of that is another good example. AI and forecasting. A lot of our clients are doing work in the area of targeted marketing and forecasting user experience. Education, certification verification. Automotive, supply chain provenance, and not just automotive as well, but there are other sectors like food safety, knowing what ingredients have gone into a product if there's a safety issue in a product recall. Energy, smart cities, smart grids, peer-to-peer off-grid lending arrangements, great opportunity. And financial and banking, which I'll leave some of the other council members to touch on in more detail. So why? This is good. We have a problem that our clients want solved. We have a solution in the form of blockchain that looks like it could be useful. And we have the focus and interest in helping our clients to deploy those in a legally compliant manner. So why this particular technology? Well, the answer is simple. When we looked at those use cases, they matched up very well with the attributes of the Hedera platform and the underlying Hashgraph algorithm. Secure, scalable, stable, fast and fair. Lehman touched on the idea of putting a real estate asset on one of these things and finding there are two versions of the truth. That can't happen for real-world major assets. So it's essential that we have things like the no forking guarantee. Then there was the participation in the future, the ability to participate in the council and to join a number of other world-leading organisations and bring our expertise to that. So legal compliance is one of them. My colleague who's in the audience tonight, Mark Radcliffe from my Palo Alto office, is an extremely experienced in the area of technology consortias. And it was great to have, sitting next to Mark yesterday in the council meeting, to hear about how his experiences in those other consortia is going to be valuable here and to learn from that. Then perhaps the most interesting thing of all, though, was to actually get together with the other council members, and we're looking forward to there being more of those in due course, and to work collaboratively with them. Perhaps one of the most interesting parts of the first meeting yesterday was when we had a brainstorming session. What are the use cases you're thinking about? And it was truly fascinating to see what went up on the board, the depth of thinking that had gone into it, the diversity of applications and solutions that our fellow council members were thinking about. So I think what we're going to be able to do by participating in this is leverage that expertise, work with our clients, and we have a ready-made consortia of members we can go to, again, to participate with how are we going to build these solutions? How are we going to build it together? We're just a law firm. We have an important role to play, but it surely isn't the only role. And this is a great opportunity for us to be able to work with other world leaders in this area. My experience on the council yesterday reminded me of an African proverb that I particularly like. And it goes like this: if you want to go fast, go alone. And if you want to go far, go together. Thank you for listening.